Hi. So today I want to chat to you about the riches that are really in the niches. And a lot of time people go that, yeah, well, I know who my target audience is and that's who I serve. And that's really good. But when you start looking underneath all of that, there are so many different things that they don't even actually account of. So meaning like when you have a customer clientele and you are, for example, a developer, and you have to focus on Java and you have to focus on C sharp and you have to focus on all these other different things. You kind of need different systems for each one of that. When you are a digital agency or anything like that, you have your SEO team, you have your social media team, you have your systems team, you have all these different teams to serve a market. So if you know your target audience, they kind of want to know or need all these different services. And that might be true. But from a business perspective, if you keep giving all this massive variety of services, you also need all of that skill set. You need that time. You need that cost that is implemented or that cost that is associated with that specific service. When you do roofing and now you want to add on doing the cleanup afterwards, and you have to add on the cleaning, like gardening, for example, or now painting and all of these things, all of that extra bits of services that you add on does cost extra money for you as an entrepreneur. It also does add that you need a different skill set for these things. So when you are currently honing in on your specific target audience, so let's say you know the industry that you're serving, you know the type of revenue that they need to have, but you're not entirely sure which one of your products or which one of your services actually make you the most amount of money. Because we're in this to make profit, right? And if we don't make profit, why are we entrepreneurs? That's not it. Our reward for actually being in business and for serving a specific niche is our profits. The contributions and the salary or whatever that you pull as an entrepreneur on a monthly basis, that's kind of just the what you're getting for rendering a service, but that's not the reward of having a business. Profit is the reward of having a business, and we need to be able to structure our business and our systems in order to speak to increasing our business, get money into our pockets. That's what we in business for, right? So what I'd like you to do is think about your specific clients that you currently have and write them down. Pull out a spreadsheet or something and write down exactly who are these clients that you serve. Write down who the client is, write down the revenue that you get from them, write down the cringe factor, meaning we will have those clients that is paying us, for example, a massive amount of money, but we hate working with those. Those are those headache clients, those clients that are never satisfied, the clients that always have something to say, the clients that just kind of is a pebble in your shoe type thing. Make sure that you have a rating system in your spreadsheet that is talking about those clients and how much, like that irritating factor, how much do you enjoy working with them or how much you don't enjoy working with them. Next step is after that, also state which industry they are in. Entrepreneurs might serve a variety of industries. If you are a CPA, you could be serving the services industry. You could service different types of small businesses. You could only service LLCs. You could only service incorporations. Whatever the thing is, the industry or the section that you serve, write that down as well. And every client might be in a different sector. You need to be aware of that as well. So write that down. Next thing is write down the services that you actually give to this client that you have. When you write down this and you actually visually represent this in front of you, it does make it a lot easier to understand and to get where we're going at. The riches are in the niches. It really is, because then you are able to systemize and predict a sustainable process that can be repeatable. But every single time you have to do a new system, So now I have to, I'm actually fixing the roofs. I am a roof fixer, and this is what I do phenomenally well. But now I'm thinking of, now I want to paint this as well. So now I need to get paint brushes, and I need to get the actual paint, and I need to learn how this paint works, and I need to clean that up. So there's learning curves in that involved, and I want to make sure that I clean up the garden and do all the weeding as well. So I need extra investments for those too. So at the end of the day, yes, I could bill my client $3,000 for this day. However, it costed me in time and in extra equipment that I needed $4,000. Is that a good business deal? Not necessarily. And you could think, yes, but I can work this back in the long run, or in just a few more clients. You just had one extra client away from making that big deal. And that could be. But how long have you been in that situation? How long have you actually been waiting on that next big, massive client to make all these costs that you've incurred to add all these extra services on worth your while? That's something to think about. So let's go back into what we're trying to do is finding out who is our actual niche, finding out who's the clients that I want to serve the best. Because when you start doing all these extra things and all these extra side hustles within your business, you're taking away from serving your actual clientele. You're taking away from being the best that you can be and charging quality rates for what you are actually doing, serving those clients, because you're so busy thinking about everything else and being part of all these other things that you actually don't get time to serve that clientele that you want to. All right, so now we've written down the client, the revenue that they pay you, the services that you're actually rendering them, the cringe factor, and have a rating system, like I said, and make sure that you have part of this stuff like response rate. If that is something that irritates you, if your clients take long to get response back to responding to you, anything that makes them a little bit tricky to work with, or that gives you that feeling when you work with them, write that down. Now, when you've written down all of these different all of these different things that you are now, your basically your assessment sheet of your current clientele. Now you have a rating system to see, all right, well, I actually serve this industry a lot better. I have got all the systems in place. I've got the expertise in there. I can cut on all these other things that I don't need. I'm still a roofing guy. I have my ladders. I have my equipment to do that. I don't need all the lawnmowers, and I don't need all the painting brushes, and I don't need all of these things. That's a painter's job, and that's a gardener's job. So what do I specialize in? I specialize purely in fixing roofs. That's what I do. Okay. Now that you've got this, and now you've got the idea of which are the clients that you really like working with, you have the time to go after those clients, more of those clients. So if you've done all these investments to buy the paintbrushes and to buy all these extra gardening things, you've racked up so much money for this, and you've only served one house. What would have happened if you are able to stick to your roofing, do what you do that well, and have a partnership or a referral base to other people that are actually being able to do those things really well because they specialize in that? You have time to do 3 houses in one day and rack up 9,000 instead of just 3,000. Does that logic make sense? When you focus in and you actually do what your zone of genius is, that you can repeat, that there's a system that you can do, and only you can do the way that you do it. Remember, there's lots of roofing guys out there. There's lots of CPAs. There's lots of agencies. There's lots of lawyers. There's lots of all of these professions out there, but there's no one like you. There's no one that has your background, the experiences that you have, and in this industry that you serve the way that you do. That's your secret sauce. So how do you serve your clientele with the speciality that you have in order to make the most profit? When you've created a system that is honed down that is repeatable and is sustainable, you are able to actually bring in more profits because you can turn it over a lot quicker. You don't need extra manpower, you don't need extra labor, you don't need all these extra bits that does cost extra money. Yeah, it might in the long run render a little bit of profit. I mean, we all know about cross-selling, we all know about collaborations, we all know about all these extra bits. But if you haven't focused on what you do really well and you haven't been able to actually make a massive profit on that specific speciality, the rest of the stuff will still be fluff. And you will always be in that situation where you are stressed about everything else. You still feel responsible for your whole team's salaries. You'll still feel responsible for all of their livelihood. You'd still be the one that's running around, that wakes up with an elephant on your chest. You still be the one that never has enough time. You still be the one that is paying your team more than you get paid. You won't be the one that gets the rewards of profit because you don't know how to systemize and hone in on the clientele that only you can serve. All right, so now that we have our assessment sheet, we know who our clients are that we're currently serving. We know what the revenues that they give into us. We know the services that we give to them. We know what the costs are, what it is to give these services. We know the cringe factor of actually working with these clients. Now you are able to visually see right in front of you who is actually our specific target audience. Who are they? What do they do? What industries are they in? How can I align myself a little bit more into this? Next step is ask them. Go back to each one of those clients that you written down and ask them, hey, how can I serve you better? What would be one thing that I can do better to help you in this niche? They'll tell you. It won't be an upsell. It won't be anything else. You're literally asking your client how you can serve them better. No one will turn you down. No one will tell you, no, I don't have time for that. Every entrepreneur which you serve wants to know how they can be served better. So go ask them. So now you start getting some market reach from your actual clientele. So one thing with the roofing could be that they actually need someone that is able to come in at 7 a.m. before they leave work so that they can show them exactly what's going on. All right, so you can shift your timetable a little bit earlier. You could do that, which means you could probably serve a little bit more clientele during one day. And you are able to charge a little bit of a premium because now it's before working hours. And you know that your clientele is usually business people in a specific community. They leave the house at a certain time and it's always a rush time. So if you are on time, which is not always the case with contractors, you already put yourself in a different league. It's all right, let's do that. I can do that. That's not a big deal. Now you know an actual thing that your community is needing from you that you can serve them better within your niche. Now we go to the next step. All right, so how can I refine this even more so that I get a repeatable process and I don't need to have all these extra labor and all these extra costs involved for one specific thing that we want to get more profits? All right, well, now we start thinking in a different way. Okay, now we know what our clients want more from us. We've identified what is our actual specific service that we render that also gives the most return on investment. And we know what type of industry we are best in. Everyone that does not fall within this space of your specific target audience, let them go. It is one of the hardest things that any business owner have to do, is either say no to business because you're in this growing phase and you kind of have this idea, but I need this and I need to make payroll and I don't know if I'm going to make another sale. I fully understand. We've all been there. We've all been in that situation where it is so stressful that you're like, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? And I don't think that changes a lot, even as your business grow. But the way that you manage it can and will be. So, all right, we know now we've got the niche of where we're going. We know that we've got the specific target audience. We know what they want better. We know how we can serve them better. We can cut a lot of extra cost, which will save money. It will increase your profits. and it will create more time for you to serve more clients or serve your current clients better. Because remember, all of this speaks to the 4 ways that any business can make money anywhere, anyhow. So they need more leads. All right. So usually when you start doing this and you specialize in the field and you do that really well, referral base goes up because now you've met a need that no one else is meeting in your niche. Next, you are able to increase conversions because you know what your clientele need and you serve them phenomenally well. You're not going on and serving other things everywhere else and not serving your clientele the way that you're supposed to serve them. Now you are able to increase profits because you don't have extra costs. You've got a system that is streamlined in order to get to where you need to be. And you are able to increase the frequency of how you do that. That can now consist with different types of collaborations, maybe, or partnering, or how do we add value to this? Can you do a monthly subscription with roofing, or even every 6 months, or a yearly thing where you have to come do an audit? Or is there something in your specific industry that you are able to assist with on a more frequent basis that does not take away from your core being, your core service that you're rendering? That's the way that you streamline and you are able to identify who's your specific target audience, who do you want to work with, what is the most return on investment that you can get from that with this specification of what you're doing, because the riches are in the niches. If you are a roofing guy in a community close to high schools and close to like the suburban area, you know that people are serving a certain way. You know where to meet them. It's usually wherever the schools are and the school activities are. You serve them in a way that no one else serves them because you are the roofing guy in the area. That's how you grow your niche. If you start doing now commercial stuff, you're completely out of your depth. Now there's new things that you need to learn. It's a completely new industry. The way that a commercial person needs to be served than a residential is completely different. So hone into what is your niche. How do you serve them? Ask your clientele, what do they need? How do they need it so that you can serve them better? And you can go after more of those guys. And your system and your process is repeatable because that keeps this cost very low and your profits are skyrocketing. So yeah, I would love to be part of your next big business need. For any kind of business consulting, please reach out, DM me, or go to my website. It is here at the bottom, and I'd love to hear from you.